Okay, so the weirdest thing happened to that is I put up my phone to film a different video for my other business, and I absolutely loved the lighting right here, which is odd because I don't usually like the lighting right here. So I'm going to go ahead and film a video. Welcome back to the Be the Hero channel. I'm Isabelle, and I help you understand the stars so you can feel more clarity and control over your life. Now, before I dive into this video, make sure you hit the link in the description below to book your 1-hour birth chart reading with me now. In this reading, we dive into any and everything related to your astrological birth chart so that you can understand yourself, live your purpose, and understand how you can manifest your desires. I didn't quite decide what I was going to film when I started this. I just know that I haven't been filming as much as I said I would, so I was taking the opportunity to film something for you guys while I had a somewhat quiet space. And if my dryer starts going, we're just going to ignore it. Today, I'm going to talk about what it means to have your part of fortune in the sign of Aries. Now, I did do a video already covering the part of fortune in Virgo. I'm really going out of order on this, but I figured it's better to start somewhere than nowhere. For those who don't know what the part of fortune is, let's dive into that first because there's a massive confusion on what it is. And when you look at your chart, if you're looking at the birth chart wheel, it looks like something that is not necessarily very important given that it's such a small symbol. If you're looking at your chart, the part of fortune is symbolized by a little circle with a cross in it, or an X. So it's just a little circle and an X, usually in black, in your chart. Find where that is in your chart. Once you do, continue this video if it's in Aries. The part of fortune is not an actual astrological planet. It is not a planet or an asteroid. It is a mathematical point. And the mathematical point is calculated using your sun, moon, and rising. And depending on whether more planets of the sun, moon, depending on whether your sun and moon are primarily in the top or the bottom of your chart, whether you have a day or a night chart, dictates whether how this calculation is made. Because usually, as I believe, it is your sun plus your moon minus your rising, or your sun plus your rising minus your moon. And I'm not quite sure exactly which dictates. Let's just look it up really quick. This video is going to be chaos, and if you guys feel like this is too chaotic, I will try to put a timestamp in where I just get into what it means to have your part of fortune in Aries. You have a day chart in your chart if your sun is above the rising 7th house line. So if you look at your chart on the birth chart wheel, you have your ascendant on what would be considered in a way the western horizon and the 7th house on the eastern. If your sun is above that line, if it's on the upper half of your chart, then you have a day chart. And if it's below, you have a night chart. And that dictates how this calculation is made. And so the part of fortune, what it represents, is the middle point between the three big primary parts of your chart, which are considered your sun, moon, and rising. It's how you can harness your core energies in order to gain financial abundance. I tell people about the part of fortune when they are looking to manifest more money or to change their career, because the part of fortune really changes and affects your career, especially because most people usually, when they want to make career changes, they want to make more money. So the part of fortune has both a sign and a house it's in. And I will eventually do a series covering the houses, but I will not in this video cover much about what it means to have the part of fortune in Aries in different houses. So if your part of fortune is in Aries, and I will make sure I put a timestamp that I'm starting this about 4 minutes in. If your part of fortune is in Aries, you will find financial abundance the more you embrace the Aries archetype, which means being impulsive, bold, and brave. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and it represents the part of us within us where we're first initiated into the world. I have my sun in Aries and I have my Mercury in Aries. You can probably tell by how I ramble and format these videos. And when our part of fortune is here, it means that we are supposed to really tap into the energies of initiation. Aries, like I said, first sign of the zodiac, it is often associated with being blunt and aggressive. This is not what we're supposed to embrace in order to manifest abundance using the part of fortune. The part of fortune in Aries is really about being a beginner, being the fool, so to say. In tarot, there's the Fool card, number 0, and when your part of fortune is in Aries, it really is a journey about allowing yourself to be a beginner and do new things. Oftentimes, people with a part of fortune can find financial detriment if they are stuck in the same routine in every area of your life. And depending on what house your part of fortune in Aries is in will change where you should initiate novelty. If, for example, you have a part of fortune in your 10th house, you may find that you have to change careers often, or you have to be in a career where you're constantly initiating new things, taking or giving orders, giving command, trying new things, acting off of impulse. High intensity jobs are probably really good for you. If it's in, let's say, your 3rd house, if your part of fortune's in your 3rd house in Aries, then you really have to initiate new things with your communication. You have to speak your mind and be able to speak and write in ways that are innovative to you, that are novel, that are new. Overall, if you have a part of fortune in Aries, you cannot be stifled and you have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Depending on the rest of your chart, that will dictate how hard it is for you to embrace this. If you're someone with a lot of Taurus dominant energy, for example, or any other earth sign, it'll probably feel more outside your comfort zone to embrace this part of fortune energy in Aries. And so with the part of fortune in Aries, it's really important for you to reflect on, how do I initiate new things? How often do I go outside my comfort zone? And how can I live a more bold and brave life? Aries is not just about doing things that are new, but also doing it with bravery and confidence. Like I say all the time, one of the first 2 words that I always mention when I say Aries is brave and bold. Bold. How can you be more bold? Do you need to speak your mind more? Do you need to get out of your corporate job? Do you need to do things that are more intense? What would the most bold version of yourself do? This is the essence of a part of fortune in Aries. And regardless of the rest of your chart, you may need, or depending on the rest of your chart, you may need more stability in other areas of life. But as far as financial gain goes, the more you can tap into the Aries archetype, the more you can receive financial abundance. The part of fortune is where we can find fortune, quite literally. And this may be something you offer to other people as well. So by understanding how you can be more bold and do new things, the more you can teach others to do the same. So you may have a huge journey in helping people understand how to be more bold, how to be more brave, and how to do new things. So there's 2 sides to this coin. It's about the part we give to the part of fortune is the part of ourselves we must tap into and what we can give to other people. So for the part of fortune in Aries, you may find that you are learning to be more bold, be more assertive, and be more independent. Aries has a lot to do with independence. If you have a part of fortune in Aries, unless it's in the 7th house, it's very, very likely that you are going to be either working on yourself or working by yourself, or working in a spot where you are leading others. You are paving the way forward by just doing your own thing, and people will follow. So the first aspect of the part of fortune in Aries is doing those things on your own, independent, and teaching yourself to be more bold, independent, and brave, doing new things. But there's also the aspect of the part of fortune where we give it to other people. So in the example of part of fortune in Aries, once you understand how to use that in yourself, learning how to teach other people to be more bold by being bold yourself and sharing maybe your thoughts honestly and fearlessly with them. You could be helping them learn to take impulsive action or not even so much impulsive action, but bold action. There really is an aspect with Aries that has to be tread softly. I notice for people who don't have Aries as their sun or rising, or even in Mars and Moon maybe, if it's in a more minor aspect of the chart, such as Lilith or just the 10th house or Jupiter, if it's in a very, let's say, frail aspect, it's hard to explain how I'm seeing this in my head, but basically, if your Aries placement is such as in the part of fortune or Lilith or Jupiter, something that is more distant from you, something that is more distant from us here on Earth, it is more likely for it to be a harder placement for people to step into. And this is just from personal observation. This is not necessarily an astrological fact. This is just what I've noticed. And I share this because oftentimes people who have a more distant placement of Aries often end up reaching into aggression and impulse in their chart, especially if this is their south node. You may have a tendency to embrace your part of fortune in ways that make you actually contractive, because it is possible to embrace your part of fortune in negative ways, just as it's possible to embrace any area of your chart in more so negative manner. And the way we embrace these in negative ways is by embracing contractive frequencies in the process. So if you're embracing aggression, for example, and thinking that's going to bring you financial gain, that's not necessarily going to be the case. Assertion, however, is drastically different. And by being assertive and, still embracing loving kindness, compassion, emotional neutrality, you can manifest abundance. But being aggressive and rude and blunt is not going to get you there. So embracing the right energies, the positive frequencies of Aries is the key. Instead of being, let's say, hyper independent and pushing people away, you may need to have a healthy level of independence. Don't isolate yourself. If you have a tendency towards aggression, be assertive. If you tend to be flighty, be focused on trying new things and learning. Instead of being egotistical, be confident. So hopefully this video helped you understand what it means to have your part of fortune in the sign of Aries. This was a chaotic video, I know, but if it helped you, let me know in the comments below. And if you have more questions, let me know in those comments below. But also hit the link in the description below to book a 1-hour birth chart reading with me, where we can dive into your part of fortune and more in your chart. If you're looking for more money, wealth, or purpose, love, whatever it is you're looking for, even if it's just self-understanding, book a reading with me in the link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name's Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, namaste.